Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates, bodybuilding topics to go over. First off, we got the Big Man Spain Pro show. Unfortunately, I was unable to cover it last night because it started very late over here in Serbia, but it's even better to do it now because we got some high quality photos that we can take a look at. So, as you guys know, Keone Williams ended up winning this show. It was very much expected. In my prediction, I actually had Horse MD potentially winning this show. I told you guys that Keone is definitely the favorite, but I thought maybe Horse MD had a chance because it seemed like he was bringing his absolute best conditioning of all time, and that did end up being the case. I think Horse MD was at his absolute best ever. His conditioning, I don't think his conditioning was ever this good before, but he still needs to work on a couple of things. If he continues at this pace, maybe next year he will qualify for the Mr. Olympia. This year it was pretty much a mission impossible, so he tried it out at a couple of shows, 3 shows actually, and he was just unable to do it. Maybe he wasn't lucky enough. He had Keone Williams at this show, but if he was even more conditioned, would he beat Keone Williams? I don't think so. I don't think it's just the conditioning thing. I think Keone Williams is just simply more complete, more dense, thicker. He has more muscle, better muscle separation. He's just a more matured, better bodybuilder. I mean, he placed 6th at Mr. Olympia at one point. Now he's placing lower because his back atrophied completely, but everything else on Keone is outstanding. In 3rd, we had Emir Omeragic, and in 4th, we had Mark Hector. I don't know if you guys remember this guy. He competed a couple of years ago at Arnold Classic UK, and the problem that he had back then was the legs. So he managed to bring up his legs quite a bit. Now his legs are no longer a weak point, but overall he just needs a little bit more work as well. But he is definitely somebody who can qualify for the Mr. Olympia in the upcoming years if he continues progressing at this pace. He also injured his shoulder and he had a shoulder surgery, so this was his comeback. Basically, he needs more muscle, I would say, overall, but his legs did come up, so he improved that, but again, he needs more work overall. Now, as far as Horse MD versus Keone, this pose is horrible for both of them. I don't even know who's worse, but I would say, honestly, Horse MD is probably even worse. Maybe his back is a little bit thicker, but, Keone has really shredded glutes and hamstrings, and Horse MD, even though he was in his best conditioning ever, he is still not that hard, that tight, and like the back also doesn't have the shape, he doesn't have the lats. What he needs, really, is a proper off-season. I know that he has like 5 businesses, he's not super focused on bodybuilding. I think he just gets focused when he is prepping, kind of, and that's why he is not really making huge progress year after year. I don't think he looked much better this year compared to last year, for example. He got to a certain point where if he wants to continue progressing, he needs to put in more work, harder work. Like, he has the potential. I mean, Emir, for example, here, like, he has some structural flaws, and I don't know if he can surpass them. But Horse MD has a very good structure. He just needs, like, more muscle in certain areas, more density, better conditioning. In my opinion, he needs just a really good off-season. And I'm sure he can qualify for the Mr. Olympia next year if he makes some progress. Like, here you can see the difference in the upper body, like the arms, the shoulders, the chest. Horse MD needs a lot more work. His legs are great, they're pretty much done. He needs to get those glutes more conditioned, but the legs are phenomenal. Upper body, especially back, but from the front as well and from the sides, he needs more thickness, more density. He just needs to work harder. He has the structure, he has all the potential. It's just gonna take him another year of hard work and he can get there, I'm pretty sure. But not this year. This was the last pro show of the year and Keone Williams won it and he qualified for the Mr. Olympia next year. Alright, the next thing we gotta talk about, guys, is whatever happened to Elliot Dermond. Now, if you guys are subscribers of this channel, you probably watched the last video I made about this guy, and you might remember what I said about Elliot back then. But in this new post, basically, he wrote this lengthy caption. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, basically, but what he said is that he's out. He pulled out of MPC Nationals, which he was qualified for, where he wanted to win his pro card. He pulled out of that show because of health reasons, so like really bad health reasons. Like his health is all messed up at this point. Now he speaks about exactly what he did, what the issue is, and to sum it all up, basically he says that he did way too many drugs, that he did way too much training, cardio, and he did all this without the knowledge of his coach. He says that he didn't follow the plan. Now again, if you guys watch my video, you guys remember that I said that his coach is Dominic Cardone, and what I said about Dominic Cardone in that video is that I think he is a little bit too extreme of a coach. Because I saw some protocols that he wrote to certain competitors. I can't say which competitors, but I saw what he was doing with some guys, and from what I saw, like he was very hard on the anti-estrogens, for example. Like very, very extreme. There is this guy that I know that he was prepping and he gave him 2 milligrams of Arimidex. I don't know if you guys compete or not, but I had a coach once who also put me on a bunch of anti-estrogens, and I remember feeling like I'm gonna die, basically. That's how I felt. That's the worst feeling ever, basically. Lowering your estrogen that low, doing that many anti-estrogens. Yeah, it will get you lean and dry, but it will ruin your health, your lipid status. It's gonna make you feel super tired. You won't be able to train, to get a pump. I mean, I wasn't able to get out of my couch, basically. And this guy that Dom was prepping, he ended up in a hospital like 2 or 3 times. And he pulled out of the show as well. And then he recovered somewhat and he ended up doing a show, but he did very poorly because I don't know how he even finished that prep. But from what I saw, what Dom gave him was extreme. It was crazy. Now, I don't know. I mean, here, Elliot basically says that he didn't follow Dom's plan, that he did more than what Dom asked him to do, that he was even more extreme by himself. Is he telling us the truth? Or is he trying to defend his coach? I don't know. I also said in my previous video that that Elliot looked a little bit too shredded for being 5 weeks out. But I didn't know that he was preparing for the regionals where he won. I think he could have won that show even if he was like 20% less conditioned. But maybe he didn't want to show up looking not completely ready. I understand that. But again, he didn't have to dig that deep for that show. Whatever. I don't know what part of this is true and what's not true, but basically what Elliot is saying is that he has blood clots and rhabdomyolysis. That's something that happens when you overtrain. And I don't know if anti-estrogens can affect that, but I don't think so. I think he just did probably too much training, too much cardio. He never took any rest days. He took way too many stimulants. I understand that, like he was really shredded for 5 weeks out. I'm sure his energy was super low and he had to take a lot of stimulants, but you should still be as moderate as possible with those too. And again, I don't know what exactly, whose fault is this, but he is defending his coach. He's saying that he took more than what his coach told him to take. He did more than what his coach told him to do. So he ended up with horrible health condition and he's out of the show. And his health is messed up. I don't know, will he recover from this completely? But he's only 25 years old. Only 25, super young guy with a ton of potential, with potential to be one of the top pros. But things happened the way they happened. I hope he will recover fully, and I honestly hope he's gonna change a coach. Even if he didn't listen to Dom, even what Dom told him was actually healthy, he needs a coach that he will actually listen to. Somebody who will have the authority over him and somebody who will know how to keep him healthy, which is probably the most important thing for this guy right here. He has the genetics to grow, to get shredded. He has the shape, the size, everything. He just needs to stay healthy, mentally stable, to do what he's told. And I'm sure he has a bright future ahead of him as long as his health stays fine. Alright, and finally we got this video from Keone Pearson. I think he's in Korea doing a little guest posing in this gym right here. And he is looking phenomenal, honestly. He looks massive. He looks like a freaking open bodybuilder. And the funny thing is, he is off. He has been off since the Mr. Olympia. He is in his health phase. I'm not saying he's natural. I'm not saying he's not taking anything. I don't know what he's doing. Probably like TRT or cruise or something like that. But considering that he is in his recovery phase, he looks crazy. He looks amazing. And he is coached by Patrick Tuor. And when Chris announced that he was doing Prague Pro, maybe Keone considered doing it as well. It would definitely make for a very interesting show. Sean Clarida placed third, and so Keone will probably place at least third, maybe second, maybe even first, who knows. And maybe he considered that, but he has Patrick Tuor as his coach, and the health is very important for these guys. So he was in his recovery phase. He didn't want to mess with that, and this is what he looks like. Even though he's in recovery phase, he still looks amazing, and I'm sure Keone will stay healthy for a long time, continue progressing, continue winning. He's probably going to be in the top of the bodybuilding game for a very, very long time, and he has a good coach. Elliot Dermond needs a coach like Patrick Tuor. I don't know, guys. We'll see what's going to happen with these guys. Tell me your opinion down below in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. For more content like this, guys, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. All the best, and bye-bye.